What it do, baby? Welcome back to episode 3 of TMS Takes.
My name's Tyler.
I'm Mason.
And I'm Steele. Welcome back, guys.
Episode number 3. Our first NFL episode.
Yes,
Before we get started,
Switching
Before
gears.
we get started, we have some news to announce. The first TMS news. We are going to be starting up a second YouTube channel. It's going to be called TMS2, as opposed to our main YouTube channel, TMS Takes. TMS Takes is where all of our podcasts will go up every week. TMS2 will have Mason. Why don't you tell them what's going to be on TMS2?
So we're going to have some, like some other YouTubers have. They have like basketball challenges, types of sports challenges. We're going to have some vlogs of us maybe going to some different sporting events and stuff of that nature. Maybe some gameplay wager type footage, just stuff we find interesting and fun that we can incorporate with the three of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
TMS Takes 2. Or
Speaking
TMS2.
Little sneak peek. We might be seeing the number 1 overall pick in person soon.
Oh
yeah, Mr. Heisman from last season.
No more
number 1 pick.
No more words until the video.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, let's get started on what we're talking about today.
This week, we are doing, for our first NFL episode in TMS Takes history, we are doing our, once again, I don't know about way too early. We got less than a month until preseason. About a month, maybe a month and a week.
We have 7 days until
starts.
Our Hall of Fame game.
That's right. We do have 7 days until the Hall of Fame game. So I don't know about way too early. But I'll say pre-training camp. We have our pre-training camp 2019-2020 NFL season awards predictions. Football is my favorite sport. I don't know about you other two, but football is and always has been my favorite sport. Always will be. I love football, so I'm really excited for this week.
I am as well.
I've never been excited for a football season. I am a Cardinals fan. This season's very exciting for Cardinals fans. Last year was a very big disappointment, but I think this year it'll be very exciting with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you guys were, dude. The Bears, bro. Cody Parkey,
the Bears have a lot to prove after last season.
I literally was gonna cry, bro.
I was glad for Bears fans last year, though. They did pretty good last year, and I think they'll do good again.
I think they'll do even better this year. I'm a Patriots fan.
I don't know. He lost Vic Fangio, so
that's true.
Defensive coordinator. Most boring Super Bowl of history.
I am a Patriots fan. I've been a Patriots fan my whole life. That's not true. Steele, stop spreading that rumor. You know that's not true. You've known me since kindergarten. You know that's not true. You know that's not true. So I don't want to sound ungrateful, but honestly, I'm excited for football, but I feel like I'm more excited to see these other teams because, there's really nothing left for the Patriots to do. I've gotten to see my team win 3 Super Bowls, which I'm extremely grateful for. A lot of people don't even get to see their team win 1 Super Bowl, so I'm extremely grateful for being able to see us win 3 Super Bowls. Mason, you're right. This past one, I don't know if I would call it boring, but it was really satisfying to see as a Patriots fan. It was to see our defense that we haven't had, in a long time, since early 2000s probably, and perform the way they did, shut down the Rams the way they did. But yeah. I guess it's just, I'm excited for football, obviously. Like I said, football is my favorite sport, always has been, always will be. But there's not much for the Patriots left to do. So I'm really excited to see Odell with the Browns, Odell being my favorite receiver. I am excited to see N'Keal Harry with the Patriots, my favorite rookie going in this year. Excited to see. I'm really excited to see Kyler. I'm more excited to see these new young teams. But I'm still always a diehard Patriots fan, always will be. And of course, I'm excited for our season. So there's that.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited to see my team not finish last in points per game. Hopefully, it was a struggle watching.
There's no way. There's no way.
It was really tough watching them.
What you guys average around 14 points per game last season?
That's 2 touchdowns.
That's bad. That's 2 touchdowns, and you were averaging that.
That's how you know I'm a diehard Cardinals fans.
Exactly.
I stick with them at their worst. But
you guys ready?
Yeah, getting into our award predictions for the 2019-2020 NFL season. We're going to kick it off with not the most interesting award, but an award that should be recognized. We're going to go with Coach of the Year. I'll start off.
Yep.
I have Sean Payton winning Coach of the Year from.
Nice.
I think the past couple of years he's definitely going to win it, but I have a strong feeling that the Saints could finish as the first seed this year, and do even better than they did last year.
I
That
can
Mark
see that, yeah.
Ingram hit took that was like a really big loss, but when you have guys like Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara who are just getting better, and Drew Brees has no signs of slowing down, I think Sean Payton will be one of the top front runners for this award, just strictly because of how good that team is.
Yeah, no, I could absolutely see that. The Saints, they have a lot to prove. I don't know if I'd say a lot to prove, but I feel like they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder
They did
after
not
the
like the
way.
ending.
Exactly.
Oh,
I was
I
about
don't
to
think
say that.
anybody liked that ending.
No. I wanted the Rams to win, and I didn't like the ending. The way that their NFC Championship, their season, I should say, came to an end.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nickel Roby Coleman for that one. Even he thought it was a foul, which is was even pass interference, which is insane. But I could totally see Sean Payton. I think he's not my pick, but I do think he's absolutely going to be up there for sure. So yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from with Sean Payton. Absolutely.
Sure.
I'll take that right into my coach of the year. I don't have many hot takes this episode like I did last week. So I guess this is really my only number one hot take. My coach of the year for next season, I think it's going to go to Bill O'Brien with the Texans. I'm really, really high on the Texans this season. I think Deshaun Watson, who I'm going to touch on later, spoiler alert, I'm going to touch on Deshaun Watson a little bit later. I think he's only getting better. I'm a big fan of his. I've been a big fan of his since he was at Clemson. I think he's amazing. I'm a huge fan of him. I see a lot of potential in him, and I think he's not getting anywhere close. I don't think he's even gotten close to peaking yet. Bill O'Brien, I think a lot of people might have him on the hot seat, but I really think the Texans are going to prove it around. I don't know, or turn it around. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I just think this Texans team, Bill O'Brien's a smart coach. Used to work in New England on Belichick's staff. I just got a gut feeling about this one. I'm really confident in this. And like I said, this might be my only hot take of the episode. But yeah, I don't know. I just got a gut feeling. Bill O'Brien, Houston Texans, is my coach of the year.
I can see that. I like their defense. JJ Watt, he's an animal.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take that right into my head coach of the year. My coach of the year. This might be a little bit of a hot take, but I have confidence in mainly this team. But but my coach of the year is Freddie Kitchens from the Cleveland Browns.
Whoa.
I feel like this team, talent-wise, offensively and defensively, is insane. And Baker, he's got so many weapons to throw. He's got Juice, Jarvis Landry, he's got OBJ, that tight end. I forget his name. It's
David Njoku.
David Njoku.
Yeah,
from
Njoku,
Miami,
baby. And then there's this defense. It's just insane. And I feel like they also have a lot to prove. Since last year, correct me if I'm wrong. I think did they win or lost? They won or lost to the Ravens in the last game. I'm pretty sure.
Last game of last season, yeah, Baker threw an interception, and they weren't going to make the playoffs anyways. But there was a small chance they were.
It was a slim, but
it was a really slim chance.
Yeah, and they almost made the playoffs with that team, and now they got this team, this offensive team. I feel like they will make the playoffs with these. So, coach of the year for me, Freddie Kitchens, Cleveland Browns.
That's a good take. I hate how a lot of people are saying they're overrated. Sure, they don't have that experience, but I mean, when you have this much talent on one team, I'm a big fan of Freddie Kitchens. I really like what he did with the Browns last season. After Hugh Jackson, that's right. After Hugh Jackson was let go for obvious reasons, going 3-31 in his time with the Browns. I really like when Freddie Kitchens immediately took over. Yeah, when Freddie Kitchens immediately took over, Baker immediately took over. I thought that they have a really great chemistry. Whenever Baker's mic'd up, you always see them always on the sidelines just joking around with each other. They both are really competitive, both really want to win. So I totally see where you're coming from with Freddie Kitchens. I could totally see that. I could absolutely see that.
The Browns also have a lot of proof too, just because they're being the most hyped up team this season. I believe the hype kinda. I don't think they're going to be a Super Bowl contender, but I definitely see them making the playoffs.
I don't either.
But other people have them being Super Bowl contenders. I didn't think they need to slow down. But I definitely could see them pushing for the championship game. Maybe that's like a strong maybe, but definitely in the playoffs for sure. So yeah, I could definitely see Freddie Kitchens winning Coach of the Year.
division winner I could see. Absolutely. The Browns, I think there's no way the Browns miss the playoffs. Whether it's a 6 seed or whether they win their division, I don't see the Browns missing the playoffs with
AFC North is up for grabs.
It really is. And I think I could absolutely see them winning their division.
Up into our second award, we have the Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm not going to go the standard, Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams route. This guy was a top 5 pick. I'm going to go with Devin White.
Nice. Okay, that's good.
After like watching a bunch of his college games, and because I really didn't know about him before the draft, but like watching all of his like film and games, like he's a beast.
He is. Yeah.
I think he could have like a Darius Leonard type year where he's just on the field. He's going to be a good leader of that Buccaneers defense, and he's just going to be all around the field making a ton of plays. He's a playmaker. It's an underrated pick just because, Quinnen Williams and Nick Bosa are two amazing guys who I definitely think could easily win this award too. I just feel like Devin White could have a 130-plus tackle type year like Darius Leonard had.
LSU guy.
An amazing beast. So Devin White is my Defensive Rookie of the Year.
That's a really good pick. I watched a lot of him in college when he was at LSU. He's amazing. I think he fell in the perfect spot for where he should have gone. I think he was in the perfect range for that. The Buccaneers, I think, absolutely got a great player, and I think he's absolutely going to be a Pro Bowl talent in his career. And when it's all said and done, we look back on this draft class, I think he's going to be a top 10 player for sure. My Defensive Rookie of the Year is also a top 10 pick. I think Devin White was the 5th pick, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. My Defensive Rookie of the Year is also a top 10 pick. My Defensive Rookie of the Year is Josh Allen with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've been keeping an eye on him since he was in college too. Same with a lot of these guys from this draft class. I was a big fan of this draft class. He's an elite talent. He's really unique for his position. He's so fast. He's so versatile. He's a member of that star-studded Jacksonville defense. You got Yanni Ngakoue. You got Calais Campbell. That's just in the front of their defense. Telvin Smith is there. Although, what happened to Telvin Smith? I'm sorry. There was a report on Telvin Smith earlier, and I forgot. I'm blanking on what it said. But in the secondary, you got Jalen Ramsey. AJ Boye, just name a couple guys. So that star-studded defense, I think he's going to fit in perfectly. I think Jacksonville could surprise a lot of people this year. I'm not sure about playoffs, but I definitely think Josh Allen's going to be a star. Like I said with Devin White, I think Josh Allen's going to be a Pro Bowl guy. When we look back on it, I think he's going to be a top 5 player from this draft class. I'm a big fan of his. I actually think he's the best defensive player from this draft, right up there with Quinnen Williams. I think him and Josh. I think Quinnen Williams and Josh Allen will be fighting for number 1 in my eyes. So my Defensive Rookie of the Year is Josh Allen with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That Jacksonville defense is scary.
It's crazy, yeah.
Giants are dumb for passing up on him.
They really are.
And who they take? Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Who they could? I mean, it might not be a bad pick, but they could have got him in like their 17th pick.
Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if trading up to early second, they could have gotten him early second too. I don't think he was on a lot of people's big boards, a lot of teams' big boards. I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong, but I don't think
the Redskins liked him a lot.
Did the Redskins? They would have taken Dwayne Haskins before they would have taken Daniel Jones. I'm sure though.
I don't know. There's a report coming out said they like Daniel Jones besides Kyler, because obviously that was
obviously Kyler's number 1
for obvious reasons.
But there's reports saying that they would trade up into the top 5 to get Daniel Jones.
Really? Oh wow,
yeah.
that would have been crazy.
So I don't know what's up with the NFC East and Daniel Jones, but they like him, I guess.
Steal your Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, let me hop into my Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm gonna go with the more hype beast-ish route, and I'm gonna go with Nick Bosa. I've been looking. At first I knew Nick Bosa as Joey Bosa's brother, and I needed to put some respect on this man's name because he is an absolute beast, and I think he fits in perfectly with this San Francisco D line. And I feel like including with players like Quinnen Williams, he can be like the main focus, kinda, on the D line.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So for me, Nick Bosa, my Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Also, teams will have to they're not going to focus on him like they will with Quinnen Williams, just because you still have amazing talent on the 49ers defensive line. I'm blanking on the defensive tackle. Tyler what's his name? 49ers defensive tackle.
DeForest Buckner.
Yeah, DeForest Buckner.
He's
an absolute animal.
Right.
Yeah, that 49ers D line's really good. So I think Nick Bosa definitely will have a good chance of winning.
Who did they just got someone? Oh man. It wasn't Frank Clark. It was two big name defensive
D Ford.
players. D Ford, that's who it was. D Ford from Kansas City. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his, D Ford. So yeah, I totally agree. Nick Bosa is going to slide. He's going to fit perfectly with that San Francisco defense. I'm not denying he's a great talent. It's just the injuries that really concern me with Nick Bosa. I think if he can get that under control, he's absolutely going to be a really good defensive player. But yeah, I could totally see Nick Bosa if he stays healthy for sure.
Yes, sir.
Hop into our third award. I'm
excited for this one.
I better not give it called biased. I have Kyler Murray. This draft was defensive loaded. It doesn't have much offensive talent. If it did have much offensive talent, I'd still go with Kyler Murray. I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard the reports that he's coming here, I wasn't too happy because I thought Rosen was the guy.
Yeah, you were not happy about that.
But after I've thought about it for a while, and the stars aligned with Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray.
They really did.
Yeah.
If we didn't have Cliff, if we didn't have Cliff, I'd be like kind of shaky on it. But Kyler Murray is gonna fit so well with this team. He's got so many young weapons around him. They're not going to be amazing right away. I know that, but they're definitely going to be something in 3 to 4 years for sure.
Yeah.
David Johnson, I think he's going to have a great year. I think he's going to have a almost 1,000 season just because Cliff likes to throw and David can catch. Kyler Murray is one of the most exciting players to come in this draft for a long time.
The most.
Oh yeah.
One of the most exciting players I've ever watched. He's got a strong arm, can run.
He's fast.
He might be short, but we see Russell Wilson, we see Drew Brees, we see Baker, we see all these other guys do it. So Kyler Murray, my offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, and I'll take that. Excuse me, I'll take that right into my offensive rookie of the year. It's Kyler Murray, guys. In 4 years or however many years, 3. I don't know how long. Maybe end of the season. Come back to this podcast. Kyler Murray is going to be a superstar. He is going to be at least Russell Wilson's caliber right now. I have so much faith in this guy. His talent is unreal. The way he can throw, he can run. He's a crazy arm. He can run. He's so fast. He gets me so excited. I honestly think he's going to be a superstar in this league. Like I said, I think he's a Russell Wilson type player. I think that's exactly who he's going to be like in the NFL. Like I also said, he's going to be, I think when we look like towards the end of his career, when we look back, he's going to be, I think I'm so excited. I don't even know how to put into words. I'm so excited to see this guy play. Yeah, my offensive rookie of the year is Kyler Murray.
Boys, we tend to have this trend on this podcast, but we 3 for 3. Kyler Murray,
absolutely.
Rookie of the year. This kid, let me tell you, I don't even know where to start with this kid.
Exactly.
He's got a great arm. He ran faster than Andy Isabella. I know it's not officially clocked, but we saw the race. We all saw the race.
Yeah.
He was faster than Andy Isabella. Right. That's insane.
That's impressive.
And he's got a nice coach to pair with him, and he's got a veteran in Larry. And this offensive unit is just insane. The only thing that's a little shaky might be the offensive line, but they've improved their offensive line too. So I'm saying offensive rookie of the year, Kyler, my boy.
Yeah, this match was meant to be. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, I'm a huge fan of his. Coming from Texas Tech. Actually, he went from Texas Tech, USC, back over to the Cardinals. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. I think him and Kyler Murray complement each other incredibly well. So yeah, all of our offensive rookie of the year is Kyler Murray with the Arizona Cardinals.
The only hole I see in his game is his height. Like Russell Wilson has literally shown us that doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Kyler's going to be one of the fastest, probably top 3 fastest quarterbacks coming in alongside
100%.
Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson.
100%.
He can make literally every throw. He can throw down the field. He has great vision. He's good with the ball. He's just a great leader. I
Yeah,
can't. There's too much to say about him. He's
exactly. There really
amazing
is.
He's a
player.
beast.
I mean, I have so many points, and I can't really like in my head. I just can't really put them into words because of how. I mean, he's insane. I mean, we've never seen except for Russell Wilson. I don't think we've ever seen anyone to his talent, like to match his talent. Yeah,
He's like
it's
a
insane.
Lamar Jackson, but like with the passing.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, all of our offensive rookie of the year is Kyler Murray, 100%.
Hop into these little heavy hitter awards. We're gonna go with defensive player of the year. Yeah. We're gonna start off with our defensive player of the years. I'm gonna go with not the basic Aaron Donald route like most people will say.
A lot of people would.
Even though he'll have a great season probably. I'm gonna go with Khalil Mack. He's gonna be he's on the Bears for another season. He's gonna be meshed together better with this entire team. He's a leader on that defense. He had a great year on limited minutes. New to a team. He's just gonna I think he's gonna ball out, have 16 plus sacks. I think he's definitely gonna be the best defensive player this year.
Yeah, and
Yes,
I'll
sir.
take that into my defensive player of the year because mine's Khalil Mack too. You know what? In my opinion, I fully believe that Khalil Mack should have won it last year on a new team playing the way he was. I think he was he was traded right before the season started last year, so he didn't even have that much time to like really understand the team, and he still played the way he did last season. I think now that he's had a year with the Bears, I think he's going to be insane. He's not showing any signs of slowing down. Obviously, just towards the beginning of his career, unbelievable player. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Khalil Mack. Towards the end of the season we look back, Khalil Mack's an MVP candidate just because of how good I think he's truly going to be this season. So yeah, my defensive player of the year, who I think should have won it last year, is Khalil Mack.
Yes, sir. I believe he was snubbed last year too, and that's why I'm making my case this year. My boy, Khalil Mack. I mean, there's nothing more you can say. Khalil Mack's a beast. I mean, I'm a diehard Bears fan here, so watching Khalil Mack this season it just made me want to watch football more and more.
Mm-hmm.
It just because I mean the last few years besides last year have been terrible years for the Bears. Not gonna lie, but Khalil Mack for this team, I feel like he's made Kyle Fuller. He's made him step up to the next level for me personally. I think we got Eddie Jackson and with Khalil Mack, this team's just going to get better and better, and I'm so glad he's the anchor of our team. Khalil Mack, baby.
Speaking of anchor,
again.
Let's hear a word from our sponsor, Anchor, who is sponsoring this podcast. Okay, we're gonna transition now to the other side of the field, offensive player of the year. This award's a little tricky because it can be the MVP, but sometimes it isn't. It's really just a wild.
Typically,
it's really tricky. I feel like they really give it to offensive player who's amazing, but maybe just wasn't good enough to be the number one MVP.
But sometimes it's the MVP, so it's really confusing.
Exactly. It's a really confusing. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what the deciding factor is, but I don't know. It's confusing. It really is.
So I'm gonna go with a shot in the dark. I'm gonna go with a player who I don't think will be an MVP player, but I think he'll have an amazing offensive season. I'm gonna go with Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, nice.
From the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's hearing all the stuff about him this offseason, like he should be traded. He's not worth this money. He's a diva. And I think he's going to show people why he deserves the most money for a running back in NFL history. He is one of the best running backs to this day. He has been a force to be reckoned with. No one can stop him. And I think he's just going to have a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to prove to people. I really wanted to put Saquon Barkley here, but the Giants will not make playoffs, and I feel like the Cowboys will make playoffs. So that's why I have Ezekiel Elliott as my offensive player of the year.
That's really good. Yeah, I could absolutely see that. I think going into I'm sorry, is this his contract year? Does he have 2 years left on his contract?
He has 2 years.
He has 2 years left. Okay, that's what I thought. Contract winding down, all this legal trouble he's been in. Meeting with the commissioner. A lot of people are saying, not a lot of people, I guess. I mean, some media members are saying trade him. He's not worth this money. So I think he's gonna have a great year. I think he's definitely going to be a possible candidate for Offensive Player of the Year. But I'm going to give my Offensive Player of the Year to a guy that a lot of people are, I kind of want to say writing off in a way, or maybe just not appreciating as much as I do. I might be a little bit biased because I love this guy, but my Offensive Player of the Year is with the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, guys.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of his. I think he's going to be a superstar. I think looking back on it, obviously he had the most touchdowns ever for a rookie quarterback in NFL history, and he didn't play. What was it? He came back in. He came in halfway through week 3, started for the first time in week 4, and he still threw the most touchdowns by a rookie in NFL history, rookie quarterback in NFL history. And that was with Jarvis Landry as his best target. Guess who he has to throw to now? Not only does he have Kareem Hunt, who's an amazing catching back. He won't have him for the first 8 games, but after his suspension's over, obviously Kareem Hunt will be back on the team. But he also has, that's right, Odell Beckham Jr. In my eyes, are non-arguably a top 5 receiver. I'm a big fan of Odell's. We saw what Baker did last season with Jarvis as his number 1 target, as his main target, his best target, I should say. Now he's adding Kareem Hunt and Odell Beckham Jr. to that pass attack, bringing them into the picture, with Jarvis still being there. I mean, this offense, I think it's too good to fail. I think Baker's obviously the leader of them. He's the heart of this team in my eyes. So my Offensive Player of the Year, a player who I think is only going to get better, obviously, he's just coming into his second year. Absolutely amazing player. My Offensive Player of the Year for next season is Baker Mayfield in his second season.
I'm gonna have to hop straight right into that because I also had Baker Mayfield as my Offensive Player of the Year. When you add weapons like Kareem Hunt and OBJ to this team, when you're already throwing the most touchdown by a rookie, I mean, it's inevitable that you're gonna get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's impossible for him to get worse, I think.
Yeah, and this wide receiver duo, they've been playing with each other They've been playing with each other for a while.
God.
But yeah, there's not more I could say. You pretty much covered it up for me. Offensive Player of the Year for me is Baker Mayfield.
Don't sleep on the Chubster.
Ooh, Nick Chubb! Oh my God! I was taking a nap on Nick Chubb. I totally forgot about Nick Chubb. I don't even have him in my notes.
I think he'll be a starter.
Oh, he's got to be.
He'll be
while Kareem Hunt's gone. But Duke Johnson and his little whatever's going on with Duke Johnson. I don't know. One week it's saying that he's going to go back to the Browns. I feel like I saw that a little bit ago, and now apparently he's still holding out for a new contract. He wants to be traded, or not for a new contract, but he wants to be traded. I don't know what's going on with
who knows with him.
Yeah, who knows with him?
Yeah, honestly,
he's always been kind of a ticking time bomb since he came into the league. So
we're gonna go to our last major NFL award. Then we'll hop into 2 more that we that made up ourselves, but we're gonna go.
We added ourselves.
The MVP,
the biggest one. I'm really interested to see who yours is.
I'm really confident in mine.
I'm really confident in mine too. Well, I'm confident mine's gonna be a finalist, but I had like 3 finalists for this one, and I'm really confident this guy's gonna be a finalist at least.
Okay,
Mason, you want to kick us off?
Yeah. So I love me some Patrick Mahomes, and I definitely could see him finishing as a top person, but I'm going to go with a guy who I thought could have won it last year, Andrew Luck.
Ooh.
I think people were sleeping on Luck's season last year. He threw 4,600 yards, 39 touchdowns, and led that Colts team farther than what most people expect. Most people ripped them off before the season started. He played amazing. He carried that team.
He really did.
He has T.Y. Hilton, a great receiver. Devin Funchess, he's not a great receiver, but he's a good number 2.
Really solid receiver, yeah.
He's got Paris Campbell, who's one of the fastest players coming in this draft.
I like him a lot.
He has a 2-headed monster in Eric Ebron and Jack Doyle.
Right.
He's got a lot of good young running backs. I think Andrew Luck, this is his year where he's going to prove to people why he is an MVP caliber player. I think if Patrick Mahomes didn't just come out of nowhere and do what he did, I think Andrew Luck would have finished second behind Drew Brees. But, Patrick Mahomes dropped 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really confident about this. I think this is his year to win MVP.
I'm so happy you said that. Andrew Luck is not my pick, but I'm a big fan of Andrew Luck. I hate how I've actually seen a lot of people call him overrated. A lot of people have him as a top 10 top 5 quarterback. And I hate how a lot of people are like, "Oh man, why is Andrew Luck a top 5 quarterback? He's definitely not." He's insane. He had everyone's sleeping on his season last year, coming off an injury.
He put that team on his back.
He really did. He led them to the playoffs, and a lot of people are writing them off for good reason. They had 6 losses to begin the season, I think, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Football is touch and go for me, or is just touch and go, and like remembering that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy you said Andrew Luck. Like I said, he's not my pick, but I'm a big fan of his. I think he's gonna have a great season too. My most valuable player, however, for the 2019-2020 NFL season is a guy. I think he was second last year. A guy who has not won MVP yet, and I think that he's gonna have an amazing season, even better than he's had in the past.
I see where this is going.
I do.
My pick for 2019-2020 NFL MVP is Drew Brees with the New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Mason. I think you were talking about Drew Brees earlier. When you were talking about Sean Payton, you said he is showing no signs of slowing down. I absolutely agree. I think he has a great team around him. Michael Thomas is there. They lost Mark Ingram, but I think that's only going to help them throw the ball a little bit more, which obviously Drew Brees is incredible at. Top 10, maybe top 10 quarterback all time. For sure, top 15 quarterback all time. He's been slept on so much, I feel, in a way, that I think he's had a lot of opportunities to win MVP. Obviously, he never has. But this season, I think he absolutely has a chip on his shoulder, because I think, obviously, I'm a Patriots fan, but I would not have been surprised if the Saints would have beat the Rams last year, if we'd be talking about the Drew Brees being the defending Super Bowl MVP and the Saints winning the Super Bowl last season. If it wasn't for maybe if it wasn't for that pass interference call on Nickel Roby Coleman, I'm sure Drew Brees is as angry as anyone can be about that. I think he's going to come back with the chip on his shoulder, just like the rest of the Saints. And my 2019-2020 NFL MVP is Drew Brees.
I love me some Drew Brees, but I'm gonna have to agree with Mason here. My MVP is Andrew Luck.
Nice.
I've always loved Andrew Luck. Back when that playoff series where it was Chiefs against the Colts, and that 40. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 51-48 or it was 48-45. One of those.
That was the one a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Oh,
that
man.
was the most exciting playoff game I've ever.
It really was. That was crazy.
Life.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And Mason pretty much covered it up, but when you got weapons like Eric Ebron on this team, it's and the fact that he carried the team is just insane.
Yeah, he really did.
I feel like if he stays healthy, which that's the main thing with this, is if Andrew Luck stays healthy, I believe he's going to win MVP.
That's been one of the main narratives of his whole career, honestly, is staying healthy for Andrew Luck. And when he does stay healthy, he's phenomenal. So I totally see where you guys are coming from with Andrew Luck as your MVP.
I also think Andrew Luck had an MVP type year last year, but no one talked about it just because of how good Patrick Mahomes and Drew Brees were last year.
Yeah.
Especially Patrick Mahomes. Like, he was talked about week 1 through week 17. He was nonstop talked about, and Andrew Luck kind of fell in that shadow, but he had a very underrated season. He had 39 touchdowns, 4,600 yards, carried that team. But that team was very young, too, so that was pretty impressive what he did last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, cover it up for our standard NFL awards.
Those are all the NFL's awards, the main NFL awards that we're covering.
Here come the TMS takes.
Now, TMS takes NFL awards. The ones that we didn't make up, but we think one of them we made up, but we think would be really good to include on this episode. So, Mason, you want to take it away?
Okay. Our first out of 2 awards, we have most improved player. So this will be our player who we think will take a big jump compared to last year. Okay, I'm just saying right now, my next 2 very, very hot takes.
Yeah, you were talking about these as hot takes earlier.
I'm probably gonna people can call me stupid for this one, but my most improved player is Sam Darnold.
Whoa, okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Sam Darnold. I think
Lord.
He did not have the best rookie season, but you cannot blame him. He was playing for a coach that was defensive minded. He did not have a team built around him. Now you have Adam Gase, who is the perfect coach for him. You add Jamison Crowder, who I think is a very underrated receiver. You bring back Robbie Anderson, and you bring in Le'Veon Bell, who is just going to make Sam Darnold an amazing football player. Le'Veon Bell, he's going to get a ton of hate. I mean, he should. What he did last year was terrible, but you can't deny that he is a top 5 running back in this league. He can catch it. He can run it. He's very patient with the ball. I told you this is going to be a hot take. I have Sam Darnold. I just think this team is built for him, and I think he has a lot to prove this season. Many people are calling him a bust. He had a ton of interceptions last year, but I think Sam Darnold has he's a very good football player. He was kind of nervous, I think, in his first year, but I think he's got that all off him now. He's got a year under his belt. He's got a ton of more weapons. He's got a superstar player, great coach. So I think people need to look out for Sam Darnold this year.
Yeah, you could tell he was nervous last season. Every game he played, honestly, especially the beginning of the season, obviously. But I honestly, when you said when the word Sam Darnold came out of your mouth for most improved, I was like, okay, what the heck? But then you started listing your points, and I didn't even think about any of that. Adding an offensive weapon weapons like Jamison Crowder, who I also think he's really underrated, and Le'Veon Bell, who obviously has a lot to prove after the drama in Pittsburgh last season. I think Todd Bowles is obviously a great coach, but he's for sure. I don't think head coach was the right fit for him. I think he was obviously a defensive minded coach, like defensive coordinator for the Cardinals.
Very good for Cardinals.
Really good for the Cardinals. Yeah. I mean, I totally see where you're coming from. For my most improved player, I'm also going with a young quarterback. If you saw on the TMS Takes recent post on Instagram,
I see
when we ranked our quarterbacks.
I know. TMS Takes.
Yeah, follow TMS Takes on Instagram.
Shameless plug.
When we were ranking our top 10 quarterbacks, we think by the end of the 2019-2020 NFL season, by the end of the season, I had this guy at number 3, and that's because I really, really, and I was talking about him earlier, I really, really think he's going to be a bigger star than he is now. My most improved player for next season is Deshaun Watson with the Houston Texans. I see so much potential. If you guys watch any of it, him play at all in college, you can notice that the way he plays in the NFL and the way he played in college. Well, not the way he played, but the performance he's had. He's played great in the NFL so far. He led the Texans to the 3rd seed last season. But he absolutely has not played anywhere as good as he did in college. Yeah, I absolutely think that Deshaun Watson is going to have an MVP type season. I have him as a top 3 MVP candidate, and I was between Drew Brees and Deshaun Watson. Honestly, when it was all said and done for me to decide on MVP, I gave the slight edge to Drew Brees just because I think the Saints are going to be a better team than the Texans are next season. I do think the Texans are going to be really good next season. I think they'll win the division. I absolutely think they'll be a playoff team. But yeah, I think he has so much potential left in the tank. Deshaun Watson's going to have a fantastic season. And my most improved player for next NFL season is Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans.
I can totally see that too. I think the key with him is, with Andrew Luck as well, is just staying healthy for him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's always been for both those guys.
Yeah, but call me biased, boys. You probably know where this is
going.
I
know where this is going.
But my most improved player is Mitchell Trubisky.
Okay.
Now listen. He's got weapons. He's got Anthony Miller. He's got Allen Robinson, who's a total stud. I'm so
he really
glad
is.
to pick them up. Trey Burton's a beast. We got Tarek Cohen, speed back. He can also catch the ball. And I feel like because watching this year, it was really tough to watch Mitch sometimes because he would overthrow players
all the time.
He wasn't getting there. Yeah, it was pretty much it. That Eagles playoffs series, he was overthrowing a lot.
Yeah, that was.
You know, if it wasn't for Cody Parkey, we could be talking about the Bears. I don't know, but we'll just get rid of that. All right. But I feel like Mitch Trubisky, he's had a year to perfect his craft, and he's got a year to blend with these receivers who are receivers and tight ends and running backs who are honestly studs.
All of them.
And our rookie running back, David Montgomery, that man,
He's a beast.
he is a beast.
I've heard a lot about him.
He can easily fit with this system too. So Mitch Trubisky, I just feel like he's going to improve tremendously from last year, and I feel like he's got more accurate. So for me, Mitch Trubisky, baby.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think he has another year with Matt Nagy. Who's an offensive genius. He's got another, like you said, he's had another year to mesh with all these weapons that he has. I'm a big fan of Allen Robinson and Trey Burton and Tariq Cohen. That I think all those three guys proved last year that they're like could be very good starters, especially Tariq Cohen. I'm a big fan of his.
I love Tariq.
So yeah, I like what you said about Mitch Trubisky. I could definitely see that.
I think the Bears are going to be. I think obviously they're going to go deeper than the playoffs than they did last season. I think they're locked for the playoffs. They're a lock for the playoffs, in my opinion. Yeah, they're going to be fantastic. The Bears, and I can totally see Mitchell Trubisky being most improved player.
Hop into our last award of the podcast. We're going to go the opposite way. We're going to go least improved player. This is a player that we think is going to lose a step or not be the same player they were last year. And like I said, I like to keep this podcast spicy. Have another hot take for you guys.
I would love that.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
I kind of have a feeling. I have a feeling. I think I'm going to make a prediction. I think you're going to go with Kirk Cousins. That's my prediction for you.
Kirk Cousins. He can't be least improved if he started.
That was least. He would have won that last year. Gotcha. We're gonna go with. He was the biggest name this offseason, I think. Antonio Brown.
Whoa! Oh my. Okay.
I think Antonio Brown was living in luxury in his seasons. Hear me out. He was living in luxury in Pittsburgh. He had one of the greatest QBs of all time, who has still playing at a very high level. He had a Pro Bowl receiver lined up across from him. He had two stud running backs throughout his time with the Steelers, James Conner and Le'Veon Bell. Right. He had a phenomenal coach. And now he's going to a team that has literally zero offensive talent. Derek Carr is not even compared to Ben Roethlisberger. They're not even on the same level. And who are you going to focus your attention to? Antonio Brown or, I don't know, like J.J. Nelson, who's lined up across Tyrell Williams. I think Antonio Brown, and he's also getting up there in age. He's 31 this season. He just turned 31. I might get a lot of hate for this, but I think he was living in luxury, and he's going to have it hard for him this year because our offense is going to focus on Josh Jacobs, or are they going to focus on Antonio Brown? The obvious answer is Antonio Brown. And Derek Carr, he had a very bad year last year. And I just don't think he's going to be able to do what Ben Roethlisberger did, and I'm kind of confident on that Antonio Brown will lose. I think he's still. I'm not saying he's not going to just be a complete bum. He's still going to be a good player, but he's not going to be the best receiver in the NFL good anymore.
Right.
So yeah, that is my least improved player.
Huh. Wow. I don't know where to start. I mean, I guess I'll start with Antonio Brown. And how he fits with the Raiders compared to the Steelers. Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying is 100% correct. I mean, obviously the Steelers were in a much better position than the Raiders were, obviously just on paper and I mean playing wise. I mean that's an obvious thing. I mean, yeah, even if he would have stayed with the Steelers when Le'Veon was out of there, Le'Veon's been out of Pittsburgh for a long time. But even if he would have stayed, even if AB would have stayed with the Steelers, you still got James Conner, and he's an absolute stud. I mean, you're compared to the Raiders. You're absolutely right. The Steelers were in a much better position. I'll move on. Derek Carr now. Derek Carr was a candidate for least improved player for me. I think after the ACL tear, I think he peaked right there. It's as much as it sucks to say because I think we were seeing the birth of a star in Derek Carr.
Yeah, it sucks.
It really sucks to see. It's while the ACL injury is huge, I don't think I mean off the top of my head, I can't think of a lot of players that it really affects this bad as it has to Derek Carr. I mean, Tom Brady tore his ACL in 2006 and he bounced back.
Watson
bounced back. He bounced back maybe even better. So it really sucks to see with Derek Carr, the way that he's I think he's trending downwards, and I don't see him trending back up anytime soon, if at all, honestly. So he was a candidate for least improved for me. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Ben Roethlisberger is a much better player than Derek Carr is, even with him being so much older than him in age. But I get all your points, but I don't think I could pull myself to really make a player who, and yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't think he's going to be a bum in any way. But I mean, I don't think I can really pull myself to put him at least improved, just because of how.
I think he's
because of
gonna
how
have a
good he's
wake up
been.
call though.
Yeah,
He's
No.
never had this bad of a team before, and he's on the decline of his prime. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, he is, especially at his age. The move to the Raiders for me made no sense. I still to this day I don't understand. I don't think he's even given an explanation. I mean, I guess it's California, but it's Oakland. So I mean, honestly, I don't understand it. But I'll take that into
It's gonna
my
be Vegas soon too.
Oh, that's right. Maybe that could have played a part. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Weirdo
Maybe.
AB.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what her intentions were? He wanted to go to the Raiders too, which is especially weird. Who knows what his intentions were by going to the Raiders? My least improved player, we were just talking about him a second ago. You guys were saying you don't think he could get much worse. I think you guys were saying you don't think he could get much worse. I think he's absolutely going to get much worse, and I think he's not going to get any better. My least improved player is Kirk Cousins with the Minnesota Vikings. I think last season was just a sneak peek of what's about to come. And it sucks because in Washington, he was a fantastic quarterback. Really, he was pegged as one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. He goes to Minnesota. I'm not sure what happened because I think the Minnesota
offensive
team,
line.
It must be because I think this Minnesota team, weapon-wise, obviously you have Adam Thielen, who a lot of people, obviously Adam Thielen came out of nowhere.
Debatably the best wide receiver duo in the league.
Debatably, yeah. I think he peaked in Washington. Like I was saying, it's crazy that he was so much worse this season in Minnesota, because of on paper how much better this Vikings team is compared to the Redskins team he was with. Like I said, I think it's only downhill for Kirk Cousins from this point on in his football career. I don't know if this is a story. I don't know if it's really a story. This is a topic that really went untalked about last season, last game of last season when the Vikings were playing the Chicago Bears. On the sideline, Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, I think Stephon Diggs might have been involved in it too. There was a mini scuffle, a bit of a shouting duel between the three. I know for sure Adam Thielen and Kirk Cousins. I think Stephon Diggs might have gotten in there a little bit too, but I just feel like there's a little bit of heated tension. And I never really thought that they played that well together, or at least as well as they could. I don't really see the fit with Minnesota and Kirk Cousins. I see the fit, but it doesn't. I don't see the situation getting any better. So yeah, my least improved player is Kirk Cousins for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, when that shouting, except with the Bears,
little bout.
It was interesting. I like seeing it obviously because I'm a Bears fan.
Division rival.
That could also be competitiveness and all
three
players.
It absolutely could have been. I'm not saying that's like the main reason, of course, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think Kirk Cousins gets any better from here.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree with you though too. I don't think he's gonna get any better either. But
yeah, there's no way.
My least improved. See, this award was kind of tricky for me too, just because least improved. When you think of least improved, you think, oh, he's just turning into a bum. Well, that's not really the case with least.
It's
improved.
not. No,
he's just becoming like a little less. He's just going down from
trending downwards this season is the way I thought of it when I was making my decision.
So for me, my least improved player, it might come to a shock, but it's gonna be Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh wow,
I love Juju. We all love Juju. I mean, Juju's a beast.
How can you hate him?
But you can't. You really can.
You can't.
But losing AB was tough for him, and aspiring James Conner, they're gonna start picking up their run game. And obviously they lost Le'Veon Bell, but I think James Conner low key fits the team better just because Le'Veon Bell was kind of a drama queen with the Steelers, and you just hate to see it. But you like to see an aspiring James Conner come out.
His story's great, man.
Oh yeah, and I think with them establishing their run game more, and having fewer targets for Ben to throw to. Obviously, he still has, Juju, but just those main points are the reason why he goes down from here, and that's why he'd be like the least improved, because compared to other players, I just feel like if they do go down, they'll go down a little bit, but like Big Ben just goes down like a little bit more than them. So for me, my least improved will be Big Ben.
And something with the Steelers narrative that I've been keeping an eye on, and that I've heard a couple reporters talk about, not that much, is we know how good Juju is, how good he's been in his career so far. That duo with Juju and Antonio Brown was obviously fantastic. But when defenses would play against the Steelers, obviously Antonio Brown, all respect to Juju, Antonio Brown's better than Juju. The defenses would focus more on Antonio Brown, which would get Juju more opportunities to touch the ball. And I feel like being the number one receiver, I don't think it's going to help Juju that much. I'm not saying Juju's going to have a bad season. He's still going to be really great. But I think something a lot of people need to keep a closer eye to is how the situation in Pittsburgh is really going to be this season. That's another reason I think the Steelers are one of the most up in the air teams going into the season, because are they going to be better without Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, with Juju as the main star there, or and James Conner as the main guy there, or are the Steelers just going to be maybe even worse than they were last season, just missing the playoffs last season, with Juju obviously taking most of the defense's attention in that receiving core. So I think the Steelers are really one of the biggest up in the air teams next season.
I can agree more.
Another thing I just thought about this for my Antonio Brown point. Who's going to be the leader of that offense for the Raiders? Because I know it's not going to be AB, and I know it's not going to be Derek Carr. Derek Carr is too much. He's too quiet of a guy. He's a great person, but he just doesn't have that leadership mentality.
Right.
When you have a guy like Big Ben who keeps you in check, I think that also was good. I think Big Ben, and he's kind of a hothead too, but he's a proven winner. He's a leader.
Oh yeah. For sure.
And he kept Antonio Brown in check, but now you have no one to keep him in check. I think that's going to be a little scary. I mean, really he called out Juju on Twitter.
He did.
For no reason.
That was sad. That was bad, dude. Juju why?
He's a great team player. He's a great player. He says nothing but good things about Antonio Brown, and then Antonio Brown comes out of nowhere and says this stuff. It
literally was out of nowhere. Antonio Brown, I don't hate Antonio Brown. He's obviously a great player, but I think he's definitely one of my least respected players in the league.
That just came out of nowhere.
For
it made
absolutely no reason.
One
random day with nobody starting it up, especially not Juju. Juju would never start anything except Vontaze Burfict, but that's another story. Obviously, out of the blue, out of nowhere, Antonio Brown, I totally forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up. Comes at Juju for absolutely no reason over Twitter. I think Antonio Brown's a hothead.
I think a big role in that was jealousy, because a lot of fans, when AB left, they didn't thank him because the way he handled his exit.
The way he left.
He refused to play the last game of the season because what did Big Ben say to him?
It was something in practice when they were running they were running routes and they got into it. And honestly, Antonio Brown left because
he can't take criticism.
Take criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the jealousy got to him. A lot of Steelers fans are saying we don't need Antonio Brown. We have an up and coming star, Juju, and I think Antonio Brown took it the wrong way, and I don't think he should have went on Twitter about it. I think he should have just kept that to himself.
Definitely shouldn't have gone at
Juju. If he wants to prove to people that he's better than Juju, then show it on the field. Don't use your Twitter fingers.
One of my favorite quotes: "A wise man once said nothing at all." Don't prove everyone wrong. Don't prove everyone what you think is right with your words. Do it with your actions.
He was already hated in Pittsburgh, and now he's just hated even more.
Exactly.
He didn't accomplish anything by doing that.
He did not at all.
Making more people mad.
And he didn't. I mean, I get where Steelers fans are coming from. I mean, he didn't win anything for them in Pittsburgh. They went to the AFC Championship once, I believe, maybe twice.
They won the Super Bowl in his rookie year, but he was just like
Turner. Did they win? They won that Super Bowl. I thought his rookie year was the year they played Green Bay.
It was Pat. I mean, what was it?
I think it was the year they played Green Bay.
Oh yeah,
They
they didn't
lost.
win the Super Bowl. He didn't win anything for him, but they did make the
Exactly.
championship game.
Yeah,
Even if they
made
did win that, he just still wouldn't have done anything. He was a 6th-round punt returner.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't do anything for Steelers fans. Obviously, they didn't thank him for his exit, the way he handled the whole situation. But yeah, I think we all had really good. We had all really good options for our picks for those.
I'm seeing a lot of similarities.
We'll see the feedback.
Yeah.
Do you guys see the similarities with him and Jimmy Butler, per se? I feel like Antonio Brown.
I didn't even think about that.
I think Antonio Brown is better at his sport than Jimmy Butler, but definitely from a personality standpoint and like how they handle things for sure.
Yeah, but no, I didn't even think about that. I think Antonio Brown is more of a hothead and things worse than Jimmy did. I know that seems hard to do the way Jimmy ended his Minnesota career. I mean, when you're a superstar starter for a team and you come out your first game with that team and you're getting booed by your own fans, I mean, you know that situation. I mean, I totally see that, but it absolutely went south. But I absolutely see the comparison right there. I think Antonio Brown might be more of a hothead than Jimmy Butler, which is kind of surprising, or not surprising, but kind of scary, hard to do. But I totally see a comparison there. I didn't even think about that.
Is that gonna wrap it up for
that wraps it up, right?
Our first NFL podcast on this beautiful new podcast. Check out TMS Takes on Instagram.
Follow TMS Takes on Instagram.
Check out for the new YouTube channel. We'll put it up on Instagram when we get it officially started.
Right. TMS2.
Stay tuned. We got some things in the works.
Some things in the works.
We got some. We could potentially get some bangers.
Some.
We got some big plans ahead.
Subscribe to TMS Takes on YouTube. Subscribe to TMS2 on YouTube once we make that channel. Like Mason said, we'll put that on TMS Takes on Instagram, which you should also follow. Follow TMS Takes on Instagram. Why not?
Thank you for all the support on last week's episode too. Much appreciated. Love. Even if we're not getting, a lot of plays to start off with, if we get one play on this podcast, I'll still be grateful.
Yeah. I mean, we're just having fun doing it.
Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun. I think I'll have fun for a long time with this, and we're just gonna keep trying to grow.
It's only episode 3. Only up from here.
And then once we get to a situation where we can all get in the same. Maybe film it and maybe do some things like that. It'd be kind of lit.
A little sneak peek. We'll see.
Big things coming soon, guys.
Yes,
thank you for listening to episode 3 of the TMS Takes podcast, first NFL podcast. We don't know what we're gonna do yet. Next week we'll probably
we'll talk about that.
We'll put that on Instagram maybe when we do another post or something around that nature. But any last words you guys want to throw in?
Shout out to Nurk Daddy.
Shout out Nurk Daddy.
Almost went one whole episode without mentioning him, but
no, we can't do that.
Oh, we can't. The birth of Nurk Daddy.
From now on, we can't go one episode without mentioning.
I don't want to speak too soon, but the first time we do a film session on our podcast, we might all have Nurk Daddy t-shirts.
Nurk Daddy merch, baby.
Nurk Daddy t-shirts are in the making, guys.
Yeah, work in progress with those.
Yes,
just a little.
But just thanks for listening. Hope you're enjoying. Those who are listening. Thanks to everyone supporting. We're having a lot of fun, and we hope and we wish, and I'm sure this is going to be a big thing. We're all confident. We're all love doing it, and once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Take care now.
Okay. See you guys next week for episode 4. Peace.
Take care now.
Adios.